Hello all my beautiful little unicorns and welcome back to my channel. And you guys, today we're gonna get straight into your readings. In order to help you figure out precisely what the next chapter in your life is gonna be, I have prepared these 5 groups for you to choose from. And I would like you to pick one of these 5 groups intuitively. And if this is the first time that you're receiving a pick a card tarot reading, don't panic, I will now gently take you through the entire process. So let's get to know the 5 groups, shall we? Group number 1 corresponds to the Dark Heart Tarot deck as well as the Howlite crystal. Group number 2 corresponds to the Wild Muse Oracle deck as well as the Jade crystal. And just FYI, you guys, these first 2 decks are decks which I have created and self-published. They come with a guidebook and they're linked below in the description box, so whether you are a beginner or intermediate, these decks will surely add a beautiful dimension to your practice and your readings, and you can learn tarot as well as using oracle cards with these decks. But let's move on. So group number 3 corresponds to the Keepers of the Light Oracle as well as the Lapis Lazuli crystal. Group number 4 corresponds to the Tattoo Tarot deck as well as the Carnelian crystal. And group number 5 corresponds to the Love Oracle of Eden deck as well as the Tiger's Eye crystal. But of course, the timestamps to all 5 groups can be found below in the description box as well as pinned to the top of the comment section. So what choosing your group intuitively means, that just means that you go with whichever group that first caught your attention. The crystals are here in order to support you in picking the right group for yourself, but I would also just like to point out that if you absolutely cannot make up your mind, feel free to tune into multiple groups because sometimes your prediction may be a mixture between multiple readings. So what I'll do now is provide you with a little moment of privacy so you can meditate on these 5 groups. Feel free to pause the video right here if you need a moment. Then I'll be right back to guide you into your readings. Alright, so by now you've hopefully been able to select one of these 5 groups. In case you're completely new here, please allow for me to introduce myself to you so you know who is going to be conducting your reading. My name is Vanessa Somuayina and I am the author and creator of multiple tarot and oracle decks. To date, I have published close to 600 tarot videos right here on YouTube and conducted thousands of readings on and offline for you. And the whole point of my channel and my content is to create a safe and healing space for you here on the internet where you will always find refuge and a place to feel understood. So you guys, enough talking, let's get into your readings. I will be starting off with group number 1, which corresponds to my Dark Heart Tarot deck as well as the Howlite crystal. So if this is the group that you chose, then please continue watching. And to my 4 other gorgeous groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello group number 1 and welcome to your reading that's all about the next chapter in your life. I'm so excited to get into it. First up, I want to introduce you to the crystal of your choice. This is the Howlite. This has a very marble-esque kind of look and feel. I mean, just picture yourself in a home where a kitchen or like a living room floor is made out of this type of stone. Absolutely stunning, gorgeous, and its energy is very calming and healing. So if you've been suffering from some anxiety or mood swings as of recently, you know precisely why you chose this crystal. So let's see what we first got for you about the next chapter in your life. Now, the Page of Blades shows that there are some back to school vibes, maybe quite literally speaking, or just doing something such as taking an online course and furthering your education in order to be as successful as you can be when it comes to your professional life. Because when you learn, when you increase your knowledge base, and everyone else kind of has a basic foundation, but you have added these extra credentials, that definitely puts you ahead of the curve and ahead of the game. And that is the next chapter of your life. You may not know it yet, but trust and believe, group number 1, you will put yourself into some sort of course, enroll yourself into a curriculum where at the end you will have a diploma or something to show for it, a new skill set that will just skyrocket where you're going next, professionally speaking. I do see here within the tower that everything is going to change. Now, the tower may seem like a scary card, but I would like you to just allow us to move further into your reading and prediction before you judge this card or judge the situation. Because one thing about tarot is that we have to consider all messages that spirit and guides have for us. So we're just at the beginning. Of course, the tower is a card of restructuring, of new beginnings, and of, in a way, having to build something from scratch, because something that already existed had to fall, come to an end, or just overall be redone. But often that can be a very positive thing. Just think of, for example, switching jobs. Getting a promotion, you have to start from zero in the new role because you've never been in this situation. But it's actually a very positive thing when you get to do that. So let's not be afraid of what happens in the tower, especially in connectivity to the Page of Blades, as it shows that with growth come new beginnings and new opportunities, which means that the old ones need to come to an end. Next up here, within the Three of Crystals, it becomes evident, group number one, that you are feeling confident, strong. The next chapter in your life will even involve clothes that are maybe a bit more body hugging, just overall a bit more up your alley when it comes to being outgoing about your style, not feeling self-conscious. And as you can see, you're holding on to what you would like here. You're holding on to the symbol of the crystal, and the other two crystals you're leaving behind. So you're not afraid to cooperate with other people at work. You're not afraid to kind of do different projects with others, but when it comes to actually like winning, taking home the prize, being in the pole position, being number one, you are still going to do that. You can have friends when it comes to work colleagues, different people in your industry. Sure, you can look at them in adoration and think, wow, they've really come very far. But when it comes to actually taking the prize, earning the extra money, being the person who gets all of those jobs and opportunities, you're not afraid to put yourself in that position in this next chapter of your life. The people pleasing is over, because you know that whenever you are kind of too submissive or giving other people too much of an opportunity to take it and run, even if that means that they walk all over your feet, too many times you've seen how people will just take opportunities, even if that means that it backstabs you, but it benefits them. So you're not going to backstab anyone, but at the same time, if you see an opportunity, you're not going to take the back seat anymore. You're going to take that opportunity for yourself, because everyone else does it. And if you don't look out for yourself, group number one, often no one else will. And that is just a reality we need to come to terms with, especially if we're naturally empaths. It can be very difficult to deal with. The Nine of Blades is a card that shows that you often overthink ways in which you answered questions, how you dealt with situations. And it's not because you're wondering whether you made the right choice. You often wonder whether you articulated your way in a manner that didn't hurt other people. You often wonder about what kind of impression you made, not so much about the outcome necessarily. Once you've got the outcome, that's fine. But what really keeps you awake at night is how you feel like you've treated other people in a interpersonal way. What really keeps you up at night is how you feel about others and you wondering how others feel about you and how you're handling situations. Next up, the Queen of Cups shows complete serenity, calmness, and a sense of a lot more self-love, compassion, control, as well as confidence. Now, the Queen of Cups, as you can see, holds these cups. She is adorned in beautiful gold jewelry. She is kind of represented with the sun behind her. We have this beautiful gold foil detail on this card, and I would like you to know that you are exuding this same energy in the next chapter of your life, group number 1. An energy of calm confidence that just shows you know what you're doing. And it makes a lot of sense as you did educate yourself. The confidence isn't just coming from anywhere. I want you to know here that your confidence is 100% justified. So it is legit, and it's not the kind of confidence that just fades the moment that you feel a little uncertain or you're put in a new situation. And that's like the best type of confidence to have. Furthermore, we've got the moon, which actually rules the sign of Cancer. I would like you to know here in the moon that you're focused on satisfying your emotional needs in the next chapter of your life and nurturing yourself and others. So even if you're in a relationship, you've got this very strong divine energy, almost like this Cancerian queen energy here in connectivity to the Queen of Cups, as the suit of cups corresponds to the element of water, and the moon rules Cancer, which is a water sign of the zodiac. So water overall is going to be your best friend when it comes to cleansing your energy. So after a long, difficult, challenging day, taking a shower can really reset you and cleanse your energy, and it is a way in which you can nurture yourself too. The moon shows you listening to your intuition and your gut feeling, group number 1, and understanding that sometimes you may have to let others down in order to satisfy yourself. And that's okay. You don't need to feel bad about that, because how often, group number 1, let's be real and honest here, leave a little crescent moon emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you get this point. How often have you gone out of your way to satisfy another person's needs, physically, emotionally, whatever it may be, even financially, and then when it came down to them doing the same for you, you had to find out in the most disappointing manner that they would not sacrifice their well-being, their sanity, their peace, their finances for you in the same way you would do for them. And you are just done with one-sided relationships or with finding these things out the hard way. And it's not that you don't want to be there for others or be kind to others. It's just that you know that sometimes you've got to put your needs first, regardless of whether someone else likes it or not. Because when the time comes for someone else to take care of you, and maybe they're not in the position where they're willing to do that, you don't want to feel that sense of regret. You will take care of you first, make sure your cup is filled first, because you also know that's the only way in which you can be of the highest service to yourself, your loved ones, your kids, your coworkers, however many people you've got in your life. The only way you can really be your best version is if you take good care of your needs. Next up, we've got Trine. Now, Trine shows us some angelic support coming towards you, some harmony, a perfect flow. So the next chapter in your life will have some very interesting astrological aspects, and trines are like good fortune and will be plentiful around you. So that means that in the next chapter of your life, if we look at your birth chart and where the planetary placements are in this next chapter of your life, you know how if you read a birth chart, which is the place and the date, the time you were born, it shows us a very precise picture of where the planets were during the time of your birth. And that is said to have a profound influence on your personality and character for the rest of your life. And I want you to know that moving forward in this next chapter of your life, the astrological placements are in harmony with your birth chart. There are many trines that we can see, and these trines show that there is a perfect flow coming towards you in the next chapter of your life, where your work aligns beautifully. You feel like you are often, quite literally speaking, in a flow state. So if you've ever gotten so caught up with work that you don't even realize how time passes by, that's a flow state, right? When you're just in your element and just doing things and it just flows effortlessly. Now, the North Node shows that you are also destined to have. Because things are just flowing, you're just getting done what needs to be done, you are also destined to have in the material sense, okay? Everything is going to bloom and blossom like never before. Your finances are destined to be in the green and the plus. You are destined to to have certain material things that you have wanted or dreamt of for a while that are meant to come your way. So just overall, the next chapter of your life is certainly looking fruitful, but it is not just coming from a place of wishful thinking and wanting to manifest. This is actually coming from a place of genuinely having earned all of these things that you've got. Next up, I see protect for you in the sense of, you know that what comes next is protection of your assets and of everything that is near and dear to your heart. So the more that's given to you, the bigger of a responsibility it truly is. And group number one, here you're setting up different kind of insurances, life insurances, home insurances, vehicle insurances, insurances for your business, just really looking into ways how you can protect yourself. Protection may also involve setting up security cameras in your home, protecting yourself by already eating healthily, taking your supplements, so later down the road, your body was as protected as you could in order to combat any illnesses or any degeneration of your body as the years go by. So you're taking yourself very seriously in the sense of taking care of everything that's given to you, whether it's your body, the opportunities in your life, your career, and that is just attracting more abundance for you, group number one. There's no other way to put it other than that the next chapter of your life is fruitful. It is one of just overall feeling abundance, seeing it, laying in it, and getting comfortable in it. So not feeling as though it's something that you haven't earned or deserved whatsoever. Group one, I feel very compelled by spirit to clear the space, cleanse it, and come back with more cards and more info for you. So simply allow me to do that, and I'll be right back with you to guide you even more deeply into the next chapter of your life. Welcome back, group number one. Let's see what further messages that Spirit and your guides have about the next chapter within your life. So first up, we've got presence. Oh, I just love these cards. And we've got sincerity. So here within presence and sincerity, I see that no matter what happens, you're always going to be sincere and honest about how you feel, even if that may hurt another person's feelings, even if that may stir up some quote-unquote drama in your relationships. You know that it's so important for you to not check out of a relationship, that you can be honest and sincere, especially if something is challenging you or kind of bothersome, if you will. I do want to add some astrological references into this so we can see precisely what you may be referring to when you're being sincere, what area of life. Okay, so we've got the number 7, which Spirit just picked out for us. Now, the 7th house is the house of marriage and partnerships. So we called it group number 1. You will always be sincere when it comes to a partnership, and you are meant to be in a marriage or romantic relationship where sincerity and being present is number 1. So not constantly being on your phone, not constantly being distracted. And the next chapter of your life does involve a sincere relationship with someone with whom you can feel so in the moment and not distracted by social media and just what's going on in the news. Next up, within vulnerability, this safe space creates a space for you and your partner to be vulnerable in. And vulnerability is actually a strength. When you feel like you can be vulnerable without fear because you know you're not with someone who will take advantage of that vulnerability, that is one of the most beautiful feelings you can have in a relationship, and it is a true gift. And next up, within heal, group number 1, this is finally a non-toxic relationship where you are healing from past hurts and past relationships that did break you down, where you feel as though if emotional pain and heartbreak could show up as physical scars, you would have wounds, scabs, scars all over your entire body. So that is the type of healing that you're doing, where these deep scabs, scars, and pains and aches, maybe even broken bones, are slowly starting to heal and slowly starting to become just a distant memory of the past in this next upcoming chapter of your life where you are in a healthy relationship that is actually serving you, that is actually healing you and showing you that you weren't wrong when you felt like something was off in the past, and your intuition is actually trustworthy and your reality is valid. Because especially if you were in a relationship with someone who is very narcissistic or gaslights, you may even think that the entire way how you experienced something wasn't valid or wasn't right or wasn't true. If you've ever felt that way, group number one, allow for me and spirit, your guides, to just tell you that is complete BS. Okay, if you feel hurt, if you experience something, it is valid, and someone who cares about you is going to make sure that you feel heard and is going to take that seriously. Next up, we've got the King of Wands, which is the king of the element of fire. Now, the King of Wands shows us that, of course, you've got a little snack coming towards you, but all jokes aside, the King of Wands is someone who has strong leadership energy. They are successful. They are also older than you. And they are the type of person who is not afraid of vulnerability. This is someone who is emotionally available. This is a partner who has done the work, who can be in their masculine energy while still understanding the concept of feeling and emotional intelligence. Can we just celebrate this? Because I know a lot of my viewers are women, so if you identify as male or anyone you would like to identify as, just apply this for the type of person you're attracted to. This is all about personality, and the personality of this King of Wands person is healed. Okay, the personality gives, I am ready to fight for my relationship, for the family that I'm creating, the legacy that I would like to leave, and it just gives really BDE. And if you don't know what BDE is, Google it. I'm not allowed to say it here on YouTube. If you'd like more uncensored readings where I'm reading for a smaller audience so it's more accurate, you can ask questions and I am able to be very undisclosed. Check out my Patreon. It's linked in the description box because I've got a ton of patron only content on there, which is exclusive to that platform that you won't be able to find on YouTube. So next up, in the Eight of Wands, this kind of relationship is just alignment, progress in your life. It helps you to be even better in your career. And that's the type of vibe we're going for in the next chapter of your life, group number one. We are going for this vibe of growth, this vibe of mutual support, love, and understanding. And we are going for the type of energy where you just know the relationship supports your dreams, not you supporting the relationship and your dreams are kind of on the back burner just because you're constantly putting out fires or trying to save the relationship. Now, Quicksilver shows us here that when it comes to the next chapter of your life, there is going to be a time where you will learn to harden yourself from external factors and keep your softness within. You keep your softness with your family, with your romantic relationships, with the partner you would like to be with. And for everybody else, they first need to deal with a little bit more of a hard exterior because you've been just burnt enough times by friends and potential romantic partners that you like to keep things professional. Next up, in the Earth's heart, a strong desire to be more, in a way, minimalist, to be more concerned with sustainability is coming up for you. So kind of just having what you need, trying to lead a life that is more sustainable than you've maybe been able to do up until this point, because you are increasing your interest in global challenges, if you will. And that's not just watching the news. I mean, understanding the concept of, for example, how important soil quality is, the quality of the air that we all breathe, the quality of water, how we can make sure that we are leaving as little of a footprint as possible by just making little changes in your day-to-day life that can have a big impact, especially if you inspire others to do the same. So the next chapter of your life definitely has a little bit of a environmentally conscious vibe to it. So this is going to be the next version of you, but think green, think all about planet Earth. Think being very conscious of the things that you're consuming when it comes to putting it into your body and keeping it around yourself too. Now, group number 1, this is the reading that I've received for you. I hope that you found it insightful as well as very healing, safe, and just overall relaxing. Feel free to let me know below in the comment section, and don't forget to leave that crescent moon emoji in the comment section. That way me and others can know that you chose group number 1. So know that I'm sending you so much love, group number 1. Ooh, and I almost forgot to mention my promotion where you can get a free Divine Guidance Tarot and Oracle board with any order over angel number 111, so $111, is on until August 11th. So up until August 11th, any order you place, just let me know in your order notes what Divine Guidance Oracle board that you would like to be added to your order for free. If you don't leave it in your order notes, I will just intuitively pick a board and a crystal pendulum to add to your order, and it'll be on its way to you in no time. So make sure that you make use of this promotion. I've never done such a big promotion in the history of my brand Bow Life, but I just wanted to give back to my community in any way that I could. So I thought adding this board with a value of $45 on its own to any order over $111 is a great way to give you guys a little extra bang for your buck. So yeah, you guys, that's it for me for today. Guys, I'm sending you unlimited hugs, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, group number 2, and welcome to your reading. You chose the Wild Muse Oracle deck in connectivity to the Jade crystal. Let's first get acquainted with the crystal of your choice. The Jade is known as a stone that brings good fortune, wealth, and just overall abundance, which makes it an excellent choice for your reading for the next chapter of your life. So let's see what Spirit has to say about the upcoming chapters in your life and what precisely is going to be happening for you, group number 2. So first up, we've got Queen of Everything. I want you to know, group number 2, that you will be the queen of everything in the sense of the world being your oyster and holding your own world and future in the palm of your hands, being able to decide everything, and overall being looked at as someone who has a lot of respect in other people's eyes. People see you as the type of person to aspire to be, and overall, you are definitely setting the standard for your friends and family when it comes to achievements and accomplishments, which of course leads us to know that your life will be filled with a lot of pleasant surprises and a lot of upgrades in your next chapter, that you are the one on the throne and people are looking up to you. I see here within crystal clear that what comes next, group number 2, your next chapter of your life, is filled with clarity of where you would like to go next, whether that be in your romantic relationships or that be within your job. I just want you to know here that you're in either situation holding all possibilities in the palm of your hands. And I would like you to also understand that your next chapter will be filled with very confident, calm energy. You are either in a space where you're sitting comfortably, you have more than enough of what you need, or you're walking very elegantly, very confidently towards your goals because you know in a very crystal clear way what you want, how to get there, and how to pursue. Next up, we've got Becoming Nobody. Now, group 2, in order for this to become the next chapter in your life, in order for this to be your reality, you've had to do the work of becoming nobody. And becoming a nobody means that you are just starting from zero rather than taking the stories of what you've been told about who you are. And with that, I mean, for example, if your name is Alex and you identify as someone who grew up in this neighborhood, went to this school, had this upbringing, these opportunities in life, you're just stripping that completely and reinventing yourself. You're not allowing for any difficulties from your background or your childhood, or even if you're from a marginalized group of society, you're not allowing that to be the main story that is you. You're creating your own story, whether that be a powerful business owner, a loving mother or wife and partner. It could also be that your story is that of a world-renowned artist, writer. I just want you to know here that first you need to kind of remove who you thought you were from kindergarten, elementary school, high school, and your young adult years, and instead construct and create the version of yourself that you want to be, and then live it. Group number 2. Next up, in the Seven of Pentacles, know here that there will be a lot that's just growing very quickly when it comes to your investments. So if you invest in stocks, they are going to be prosperous ones that you chose. Sorry, sometimes I struggle to speak, and today is one of those days. Group number 2. So the Seven of Pentacles shows growth when it comes to your investments, whether they are small or big. If you own a vehicle, for example, the worth of it is going to go up in the next chapter of your life rather than continue to go down like it has. So things will slightly increase when it comes to the investments you've got, all of the things that you've spent a lot of money and time on. And I would like you to know here in the Seven of Pentacles that also your hair growth is something that is going to increase. We see that here with Crystal Clear, the queen of everything, becoming nobody. Just long, flowy, thick hair, no matter the color or texture, is what's coming in the next chapter of your life. And maybe also because you're less stressed, you're more in control, you know where you're going, and that has a very positive effect on your physical appearance. Now, the Nine of Pentacles makes it evident that you've got more than enough, and there will be some pesky, sassy little guys like this little bird here who will try to take a little something from you. So you have to protect yourself. And of course, this can be seen as a threat, but also remind yourself that whenever you're doing good, there will be people who want to benefit from that, who want a little piece of your cake, and to simply kind of get used to that thought, because it will just always be that way. That's how it is in the animal kingdom. That's how it is with human beings. When someone has plentiful amounts of something, there will always be another creature that wants to benefit from it as well without putting in the work. So the Page of Pentacles and the Devil warns you in the next chapter of your life of taking any shortcuts, okay? The Devil is a card that can look a little intimidating, but mind you, the Devil just shows you that there will be temptation to take the shortcuts, to take the easy route, to maybe not consider the long-term effects of certain choices, right? Like, for example, taking the shortcut when it comes to your physical looks. Maybe you're taking the shortcut in the sense of just using diet pills or some sort of crash diet in order to attain the body that you want, but that shortcut is not going to be long-lived, nor is it going to be healthy. So that's what you're being warned of, group number 2, to make sure that you take things slowly and steadily. Even if you don't quite know what you're doing, do what feels healthy. That's what the Page of Pentacles communicates to you. The most important thing is to protect yourself and your body and your mental health. Look at the side effects when you're, for example, taking a supplement that you think will help you attain a certain physical beauty standard. It could be the shape of your body that you're trying to change. It can be, for example, the texture of your skin, because there are a lot of different pharmaceuticals that have a very long list of side effects. It could even be birth control. And meanwhile, there are maybe some natural alternatives that if you just gave them a shot may work for you and your body without having such side effects and without just taking the quote-unquote easy route that any doctor would prescribe, but getting to know your body, your needs, and what works for you and what doesn't. That is where you're really being called to empower yourself, as we have here. Now, empowerment in the next chapter of your life is very evident, because we see that while you did have some hermit mode, some time alone here and becoming nobody to figure out who you really want to be, there is a lot of empowering kind of energy in the stature of who you are in the next chapters of your life. So empowerment comes from a place of self-reflecting, but then also just taking the pros and the cons of yourself in your life and running with it, not allowing for yourself to feel like the victim or sorry for yourself or like you can't accomplish the things that you desire. I see here within a door that what comes next for you, group number 2, is a lot of adoration from people who you know you can accept it from, but are probably kind of not the right people for you to be with, romantically speaking. So here in the Devil and a Door, know that it's very clear that there are some people who are emotionally unavailable, but you know how it goes. When someone shows interest, then they ghost, they gaslight, they all of a sudden they're gone and then they come back again. And this is just a game for them to feed their own ego. They will show you adoration when they also want to know that you will give them that attention back. But then as soon as they have like a space filler or someone else, then they go away. Okay, whether that is watching your stories, interacting with your stories on social media, for example, sending you little messages, or just overall liking your posts. These are all little ways in which people play the like coming and going game. And the best thing for you to do is to, if you can, ignore, but otherwise just block, because in a way, just think of it, group number 2, it's also kind of disrespectful for someone to always be breadcrumbing you, always be giving you these little crumbs of attention and then removing them again when they've had enough to boost their own ego, or when they've gotten a response from you, and then all of a sudden they're gone again. So I want you to know here within wisdom that you're being taught these lessons in the next chapter of your life in order to just be this version of yourself that can confidently walk away from people's behavioral patterns that you know are not going to lead to anything. Like someone who plays those games, it doesn't even matter whether they come to you and speak to you for a while in a consistent way. You know that they will eventually pull back again, eventually play their little game once again. So focus on abundance. Focus on those who give you what you desire in abundance the way that you do for them. Because group number 2, you most likely have individuals in your life that you abundantly give attention to, you abundantly supply with love, and you deserve the same in return, group number 2. And the next chapter of your life will be filled with abundance, empowerment, adoration, and also the wisdom to know what adoration to feed into and what kind of adoration to most likely just stay away from, because it is tempting to give in to certain people, but anyone who is emotionally unavailable or isn't in it for the long haul with you, it's best to not even get too attached or to play those games. Now, group 2, I am feeling compelled by Spirit to clear the space and then come back with a few more messages for you. So just allow for me to do so. I will clear and cleanse your space with some sage, with some crystals, and then I'll be right back to guide you further into your reading. Welcome back, group number 2. Let's move even more deeply into your reading, shall we, about the next chapter in your life. Oh, okay. We've got the Emperor as well as the 6 of Cups. Now, the Emperor is a snack. This is someone who is successful, who is looked up to, who is attractive. We've got someone who has a very masculine kind of physique. They're wise and they're passionate. This is someone who's coming towards you in the next chapter of your life. And I want you to know here in the 6 of Cups that what they bring to you is serenity, healing, and stability. The Emperor is the type of person, is the type of man that you raise your son to be like. The Emperor is the type of individual that you feel safe when you're with them, when you're in their arms, and also when you just know you've got this person in your life. This is like the type of protector energy that I think anyone who is in their feminine a lot dreams of or would like to have in their life. So I definitely see here that this kind of energy is coming towards you in the next chapter of your life, which you probably didn't expect. But the 8 of Cups shows that you are moving in a new direction and you're walking away from anything that isn't precisely how you want it to be. So this is also leading you to this connection with the Emperor, to this situation where you feel protected, where you feel like you're with someone that you can rely on, because you're walking away from anything that's breadcrumbing you or anyone who's only giving you little crumbs. You're moving in this new direction. And through this, you're able to be with your dream person, or at least attract your dream person into your life, because you're not hung up on people who you know will never be who you need them to be in order to feel safe and to feel comfortable. Next up, we've got Saturn. Now, Saturn is a very interesting planet, as it is actually the planet of structure, of definition, and authority. So being with this person means that you're with someone who has a lot of very strong masculine energy, and they want to be in charge, or at least to feel as though they're in charge. And I also want you to know here that Saturn rules the zodiac sign of Capricorn, which is a very ambitious earth sign. These signs often are leaders in companies, CEOs, entrepreneurs, and I want you to know here within Saturn and the Emperor that this already gives you a very clear picture of who this person is. They're wise beyond their years. They're already older. They're anyways already older than you. They have experienced more than you have, and they bring a lot to the table. And the thing about this person is that they will never ask you what you bring to the table, because they can see the value that you bring. They see here within Yin the divine feminine energy, the intuition, the trust, the patience, the spirituality and receptivity, the spiritual protection that you offer them, and overall the capacity to hold space in an emotional manner in the way that another very masculine individual would never be able to do. They can see that what you bring to the table is not just rooted in monetary things, it's also rooted in the fact that you've got some spiritual and emotional gifts, some mental capacity, emotional intelligence that money can't buy and that can never be replaced. Here within the 6th house, we've got the house of establishing a foundation, health, as well as practical details. The 6th house is your house of your job, your health, daily routines. And I would like you to know that you're the person who is great at planning that. And in the next chapter of your life, should you end up pursuing this relationship with the Emperor, who is most likely a Capricorn, right, ruled by Saturn, I would like you to know that you will be the one who is a bit more of a domestic goddess, a domestic god, whoever you identify as. You are the one who plans, who creates the daily routines, who makes sure that you and the Emperor are as healthy as you can be, and who keeps everything in check in a way that life just runs smoothly, that you create this kind of home environment where you really do turn a house into a home, and that's something that is irreplaceable. Here within Earth, we've got Earth sign energy, which we already spoke about here within the Emperor. Capricorn is an Earth sign. Earth signs are known to be persistent, patient, and practical. The 6th house also is ruled by Virgo. I would like you to know that Virgo is an Earth sign as well, so we have a lot of very earthy, grounded energy that you're able to achieve in the next chapter of your life, and that will by default be a huge factor in the upcoming chapter of your life, because that's just how you're setting yourself up. You're setting yourself up mentally to be sane, to be calm, to be grounded. You are choosing a partner who brings the same thing to the table, because you're not playing games anymore. You are not in a space and in a season in your life where you have time for that. The people who would like to play games can stay on their own, because you are actually building, you are actually creating a future. And again, we've got wisdom. Group number 2, the next chapter of your life will truly highlight how wise that you are. And it doesn't matter what the number is when it comes to your age. Wisdom is something that even if you're 20 years old, depending on what you've experienced and been through, you may have far more wisdom than some 40-year-olds, some people who have lived twice the amount of time that you have. So never feel as though your age needs to be equivalent to your wisdom or to what you have to say or the validity of your words and your opinion. So I've been holding this card for a minute. Let's see what Spirit has to say here. We've got protect. So we also have this card, which is symbolic of a pregnancy, as you can see here, and protecting the home, family, and everything that's sacred to you, creating a family environment. I would like you to know here within protect that for you, group number 2, maybe, for example, starting a family is something that's coming in the next chapter that you didn't expect, but maybe in your heart, deep in your gut, you already knew the next chapter of your life has to involve someone who you can trust, has to involve someone that you know you can rely on, and with whom you want to take this next step with. Even though maybe right now it sounds crazy, or having your own family seems like it's just not really in the cards, I would like you to know that the next chapter in your life probably does involve some of this type of growth and change. Now, nurture shows that, of course, you will be nurturing a little child, a little baby, a little fetus, if this is how it's going to go in the next chapter of your life, if you're able to bear children. But nurturing can also happen in the form of nurturing another living being, adding, for example, a 4-legged friend into your family. Nurturing is also something you can do with yourself, with plants, with your family as well. Protecting is something that you can do with other living things and beings. It doesn't have to put pressure on you about the next chapter. But I do just want to make it clear that the next chapter of your life does have a lot of matriarch kind of energy of being a very important feminine figure, having this motherly energy within you. Next up, we've got the power symbol. Cleanse, purify, and protect the physical body. Now, group number 2, this is what comes in the next chapter of your life. Protecting your physical body, cleansing it, getting it ready, like we spoke about, maybe for a pregnancy or just to go through some sort of nurturing that you didn't expect prior to this upcoming chapter in your life. And we've got a happy love, joyful, stable partnership, and good friends. So the relationships in your life are going to bring you stability. They're going to make you happy. You're not going to feel like you're missing out on anything. And also, through nurturing and taking care of your own physical body, you will feel like you are in the best time of your life, in the best shape of your life. And this is really an upcoming chapter worth celebrating and for you to look forward to, group number 2. So if you've made it to this point of your reading, please do leave a rose emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here and you made it all the way to the end. Furthermore, I totally forgot to mention this at the start of the video. My promo is still on, where any order that you place in my store, bowlife.com, that is above angel number 111, so $111, will receive a completely free tarot and oracle 10 card spread divination board, which I have created. It also comes with a crystal pendulum. It usually retails for $45, but you can get this for free with any order over $111. This promotion is running up until August 11th, and you can pick and choose whichever color board that you desire. We've got midnight blue, nude, as well as pink. You can simply leave that in your order note. If you place an order over $111 and you don't leave anything in your order note, don't worry, you will still receive your free board, and I will intuitively pick a board and crystal pendulum for you. So group number 2, I would like to thank you for spending this divine time and space with me. Know that I'm sending you so much love, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading about the next chapter in your life. You chose the Keepers of the Light Oracle cards as well as the Lapis Lazuli crystal. Let me first show you a quick close-up of the crystal of your choice before we move into your prediction. This is the gorgeous Lapis Lazuli, and honestly, it always reminds me of the TV series, The Vampire Diaries. So if you used to be a fan of that, then you know precisely what I speak of. But let's move into into your reading, the Lapis Lazuli is also a stone that brings you this quiet confidence where when you enter a room, it's just clear that you know precisely who you are and what your goals are, depending on what room that you're entering. But let's get into it. Group number 3. First up, we've got Mercury. Mercury shows me that the next chapter in your life is going to involve some open communication and you being very honest about getting some weight off your chest. So if there is, for example, a family member that you just need to be real with about something that they did that maybe hurt your feelings, or just overall ways, behaviors that you know are maybe not kind, not the norm for the kind of relationship you would desire, and you're speaking up with love and being heard, that's the next chapter in your life. You're no more seen as a little baby or as a kid. You've got a voice, you've got an opinion, and you are the one who also gets to decide how your relationships are formed and what direction they're moving into, especially those ones with family, with people who have known you for a very long time or even your entire life. Know here within Mercury that communication is going to profoundly change the structure and the feel of those relationships, but for the better. As mentioned, you are going to have more respect and more space to be yourself. So these cards popped out of the pile allow for me to just rearrange us back to where we were, group number 3, and there we go. So let's get into it. First up, we've got Green Tara. Now, Green Tara represents supreme protection. In the next chapter of your life, you are protected, and cords are being cut to anything that leaves you feeling vulnerable or like you're not protected. You're moving beyond limitations that people have set on you. For example, if you've always wanted to do something professionally speaking, like start your own business or be a very successful business owner, entrepreneur, maybe have your own practice or just your own thing, and maybe people have told you that it's not possible, or how do you think you're going to do it, or who do you think you are to dream so big, to maybe even have aspirations of finishing college, of becoming a doctor, of just overall doing something that by society standards isn't seen as easy. I want you to know here in Green Tara that you are moving beyond those limitations and cutting cords with anyone that places their own personal limitations on you. Because whenever someone says that they don't think you can do something, that is more often a representation of how they feel about their own abilities than an actual representation of your abilities, group 3. Next up within Hope, we've got Love and Acceptance. Love is yours in the next chapter of your life. Recognize your divine worth and choose loving thoughts, in the sense of also recognizing that you deserve more than just crumbs. If you desire a partner, a romantic one, that texts you a lot, calls you a lot, is there with you very often, and right now someone is breadcrumbing you, they're just giving you the bare minimum that still keeps you around without you actually getting fed up and leaving. Trust me, group number 3, the next chapter in your life is about recognizing your worth and that you deserve it all. You deserve the cake and you deserve to eat it too, not just crumbs. Next up within Commander Ashtar, we have got a angelic guide for you that is calling you to take action. Taking charge, leading by example, walking your talk. That's the next chapter of your life. It's going to be hard. You're going to build some strong muscles, as you can see here, some strong shoulders, because you've got a lot of weight that you're carrying on them. But I want you to know here that with taking action and walking your talk, not only comes a lot of growth, because now you're building more self-discipline, also more credibility in other people's eyes, but also more confidence and credibility in your eyes. Group number 3, just think about it. If you, for example, manage to get up every day and meditate or work out, how proud you're going to feel about your own accomplishment, how proud you're going to feel about yourself and the things that you were able to do. I see here within Lady Nada that in the next chapter of your life, there will be this awakening to acceptance and loving yourself, even on the days where you're maybe very tired, where you're not able to do as much as you wanted to, and giving and receiving in balance. So understanding that, especially when you give a lot, when you're naturally a giver, the type of person that puts themselves out there a lot, that always makes time for other people, and you go out of your way really to help others. And I mean, whether that is helping them grocery shop, helping them move, helping other people with homework, with their interpersonal relationships and drama they may have in their personal life, maybe also helping people out in the sense of giving them advice on what to do when it comes to their businesses. It is so important, group number 3, that you know in the next chapter, you're awakening to the fact that yes, it is great to be a giver and you will never change that aspect of yourself, but you've also got to receive in balance. You can't just always be the one filling everyone else's cup while yours stays empty. You are a warrior, group number 3. That becomes evident in the next chapter of your life. No matter what kind of challenge that you may be faced with, so this could be a challenge when it comes to a relationship that has become very difficult with a close friend or family member, but you're not giving up. You are speaking up with love, you are being heard, you're speaking your truth, and you're making sure that you find a way where everyone can feel respected and be happy, but you also know old dynamics need to change. If in the past you were always kind of treated like a baby or like someone who doesn't quite know what they're doing, you know that moving forward, the time has come for that sort of dynamic to be replaced with a new one, with more mutual respect, with a kind of dynamic in which you feel like you can be authentic and you're not constantly held to a standard of who you were many years ago or way in the past. I see here within Guide that the next chapter of your life will be divinely guided, and a symbol that is important and keeps coming up for you is the symbol of the mountain. You may actually even feel guided to try some mountaineering, okay, to go to a certain mountain to try it out. I want you to know that in Guide we've got the number 18 and Warrior corresponds to the number 36, which is precisely double of 18. So 18 multiplied by 2, then we receive 36. So do know here that you will be guided to become this warrior in the sense of also challenging yourself physically. Watching some mountaineering documentaries will definitely get your juices flowing when it comes to your ideas of spending more time in the nature and around mountains, and in the end even climbing one mountain that you look at and think to yourself, this is my jam. This is something that I need to experience. This is part of my bucket list. That's what I can see here for the next chapter in your life, group number 3. Let's move further into it. We've got the Ace of Cups. So you won't be alone. The Ace of Cups is symbolic of new beginnings, romantically speaking, and also renewed romantic energy. So if you're currently in a relationship that you really want to save, or you really want to give another shot, another chance, know in the Ace of Cups that you will find a way to do so by not just listening, but also just a turn of fate, because sometimes there can just be different phases that inexplicably have a strong effect on our relationships. Sometimes you go through a phase where you very much struggle to communicate with another person. Sometimes you go through a phase where you're very in love and just being intimate comes naturally, and there are just different kind of vibes and phases that you're going through. And the next chapter of your life is one in which a new relationship can flourish, or an old one can have renewed romantic energy. Here within the Nine of Swords, I do see that when it comes to sleeping patterns, the next chapter of your life does call for some improvements. This calls to drink some lavender tea, to put some lavender oil on your temples, to spray some lavender essential oils in your bedroom before you sleep because it's very calming for sleep, to have a nighttime routine where you wind down. You don't just go straight from your laptop or your phone to sleeping, but you maybe take some time to read, to do some asana, some yin yoga, for example, to chant, to meditate, to really get a restful night's sleep. Because I do see here within Judgment that the next phase, the next cycle for you will be filled with a lot of very high expectations that you place on yourself, because you think to yourself, okay, I've spent enough time kind of playing around or not accomplishing my biggest goals, but now I need to do something. It's either now or never. I'm not getting any younger. Now I have to go for the things that I've always wanted to accomplish. Now I really need to go for my dream life. That's what I see here within Judgment, which is also why sometimes falling asleep can be so difficult, because you're feeling so driven, you're feeling so like staying awake and doing everything that you can to work towards your goals. And the Ace of Wands confirms that, as this is a Ace of Fire sign card, which basically means so many ideas popping in your head at night. And the best thing for you to do is to write all of those ideas down. Keep a paper and pen next to your bed, or even like write it down in your phone notes if you're somewhere during the day, or if you're the type of person that can effortlessly fall back asleep even if they're on their phone. It's not that many of us, but some of us really don't have a problem with the phone's light. And I want you to know here in the Ace of Wands that having a lot of great ideas, when you're in that phase and in that flow state, it can feel like they will never stop coming. But trust me, we all go through different ups and downs when it comes to our ideas, when it comes to our inspiration. So write them down for a rainy phase or a rainy day where you feel as though it's become increasingly difficult for you to channel new ideas, to channel inspiration, because you never know when you will want to refer back to something that you thought of at an earlier point in time. So group number 3, I am feeling very compelled to cleanse and clear the space for you, so we can move into some more details about what's coming in the next chapter of your life. So please allow for me to do so, and then I'll be right back to guide you even further into your reading. Welcome back, group number 3. So let's continue on in your reading, shall we? I'm so excited to figure out what the next chapter in your life is going to bring you. Ooh, we've got a very loyal partner, a lot of loyalty here. Someone who cannot take their eyes off of you and is completely infatuated with you, your beauty, the way you move, the way you flow, everything about you. Oh, and next up we've got love. So group number 3, undeniably the next chapter of your life does have a completely amazing romantic relationship in store for you. I do see here that when it comes to your love life, you're just feeling not overwhelmed by love, but like there is more than enough around. There is really nothing you can complain about, and when you look around and you see other people's relationships and maybe even struggles with loyalty, you feel extremely grateful for the fact that that is not something you are putting up with. Group number 3, furthermore, loyalty and love can of course also mean a great relationship that is platonic, like a business relationship with a best friend, with someone very close to you that you know will always be loyal towards you, and you also share a great deal of love for one another. Truth is another important aspect of the next chapter in your life. The thing is that group 3, you'd rather have fewer friends, lesser people around you, but at least truthful ones, than keeping a lot of people around you who just tell you what you want to hear. You're the kind of person who values truth and honesty over comfort, many, many times, especially when it comes to your career or even your love life. You would rather family members and friends tell you the truth about a partner than to have to kind of live in this little bubble where you're wearing pink glasses and everything that they do, even though it's shady or it's not great, you are making up in your head to be kind of okay or be able to pass the test, which it never should, if you know what I mean. Like when you're obsessed with someone, group number 3, and you kind of let like little disrespectful things slide, like them saying disrespectful things to you, acting in a manner that just isn't as loyal as it should be, you're just the kind of person who would rather be real and honest about the fact that that's not okay than start to live more and more in delusion, because you know that that is like a dangerous place to be. And you are the kind of person where you want everybody to take off their mask. As you can see here in the truth card, there's a mask lying on the floor, and you are here in the light, just receiving, even if it means receiving darkness or receiving information that was lurking in the shadows that is being revealed and brought to light. That is okay for you. You're not afraid of anything in this next chapter of your life. And I see here within patience that a huge part of your character trait that you are honing, that you're training, that you're exercising is patience. Being patient with yourself, especially, but also being patient when it comes to results. Okay, so even if you are in a relationship, be it a romantic one or a work one, and you're not 100% sure whether the person is trustworthy or not, you will remain really patient and allow for the truth to reveal itself rather than to jump to conclusions. You're just the kind of person who would rather just patiently wait it out and see what happens, and see how the other person reveals themselves rather than just already jump to a conclusion that isn't true. Next up, we've got Estabas. So here within Estabas, I want you to know this is the angel of divination. This angel brings you the power to find truth, not only from listening and following your intuition, but also through divination, through using tools such as tarot and oracle cards, as well as crystals, because these are often great passageways to connecting with your guides and figuring out precisely what to do next. So don't be afraid to, for example, pull a card a day to help bring you the truth about what's next in your life. Here within Hasmed, we've got your angel of annihilation. I want you to know here that while this angel may sound kind of scary and dark, you're growing in the sense of the next chapter of your life. You're not lifting a finger with anyone or any situation that has done you wrong. Like, for example, if someone has been really mean to you, say a work colleague or so has maybe gone behind your back in order for them to get a promotion before you. Maybe you're also, for example, dealing with someone who's very jealous. And I would like you to know that rather than feeling the need to correct them or to give them a little taste of their own medicine, you are remaining patient and allowing for Hasmed, your angel of annihilation, to deal with the situation and to quote unquote annihilate the person who has completely trespassed when it comes to trust and when it comes to care and kindness. So I definitely want you to understand, group number 3, that it's not your job to punish or to make things right again, because there is just this law, this universal law of the type of energy that you're putting out being the type of energy that you will ultimately receive too. So next up in synchronicity, know that being in sync with this allows you to put out great value, great energy for others, great work, and to receive the same in return effortlessly. Synchronicity is also showing up in the form of different symbols that are arising in your life. And I can see here within the new pearl that one symbol we've got for you is the symbol of the pearl as well as the triangle. So the pearl and just overall rounded symbols, we've got that here within synchronicity as well. As you can see, we've got an Ouroboros, which symbolically speaking, that is a snake that is biting its own tail. And It stands for eternity. Represents different cycles, and just the fact that life in a way is never ending. Even if the life of a certain individual comes to an end, life still goes on, and in a way it is just the circle of life, right? And when creatures come to an end or come to their demise is what I meant to say, group number 3, they turn to ashes or they turn to soil, and they create fertile grounds for something else to grow. For example, for a tree to grow that can then feed other living beings. So they kind of continue to create life. Nothing is ever really evaporated or completely gone. Everything just takes on a different form, a different kind of matter. I see here within sugar for you, group number 3, that there's a lot of sweetness, a lot of power that comes next, because in case you didn't know, sugar is the main carbohydrate, and I would like you to know that sugar, being a carb, just is that fuel that you need, that energy that you need to accomplish anything. And when you've got the energy, when you've got the carbs in you, then you can enjoy some sweet results in the end, compared to if you don't have any sugar in your life, any sweetness, so to say, then it will be difficult for you to get anything done. And furthermore, within sugar, just overall having more sugary cravings is a very to the point kind of way to interpret this card as well for the next chapter in your life, group number 3. So next up, we've got the strength card, and your strength comes from within, not from a place of needing to intimidate another person, but just from a place of having this inner knowing and this inner certainty that the angel of annihilation will deal with whatever needs to be dealt with, and you will just look to your path to being the best person and version of yourself that you possibly can be, and everything that isn't on that same path or in alignment with that, you know, is simply not worth putting the energy into. Now, the 4 of Pentacles shows us here that you will also be creating some sort of safety net for yourself when it comes to having some days already scheduled, which are days off, and also some different ways in which you can save up for a rainy day. This could be a savings account. This could, for example, be stocks that you're looking into. It could be any other type of investment where you're taking away from the mainstream kind of, how should I say, the mainstream capitalist way in which society wants us to constantly purchase things so that we can either look good or feel good, as they say, or just become a person that we're not. And a lot of time these products, whether it's, skincare, whether it's dietary supplements or makeup, hair care, clothes, they don't actually really change our lives. I mean, when have you ever gotten like skincare that all of a sudden completely changed your life? I mean, maybe, okay, skincare is like a different story, group number 3. That really can change your life if you find something that makes your skin feel very supple and healthy and soft and all of that. Okay, I retract that statement. But when have you ever, for example, purchased an item of clothing or just one supplement and all of a sudden all of your issues went away, or one pair of shoes and all of a sudden, the world was your oyster? It's usually something that starts from within, and you understand that there are just a lot of marketing gimmicks out here that are giving us the impression that we are lacking and that in order to be whole, we need to purchase something, and you're just freeing yourself from that loop in the next chapter of your life, getting back to the basics of what you truly need and leaving everything else out of your life. Now, group number 3, this is the reading that I've received for you, and I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Feel free to let me know below in the comment section by, let's say, leaving a little piece of cake emoji below. That's a very sugary, sweet treat. That way you can let me and others know that you belong to group 3 and you watch this reading all the way to the end. And also, you guys, I completely forgot to mention that my promotion on Bow Life is still active until August 11th, where with any order above angel number 111, so that means $111, you receive a completely free Divine Guidance 10 card spread tarot and oracle board, which you can use with any deck. So you can use it, for example, with my Dark Heart Tarot deck or any other deck that you've seen in this video or any deck you may own at home. It is compatible with all tarot and oracle decks, and it teaches you precisely how to create a 10-card spread and how to read into it. You can either use it for yourself or for clients if you're into this business and these practices. So make sure that you check that out. Below in the description box is all the info, and it does also come with a free crystal pendulum. So make use of this promotion while it lasts, as the Divine Guidance Tarot and Oracle board on its own has a value of $45. So you do the math. When you spend $111, you receive a $45 gift, which is just awesome. Group number 3, and I'm so excited to be able to offer this to you guys. So make use of this, and all the info is in the description box. Don't forget to check it out. And yeah, group number 3, I'd just like to thank you so much for spending this divine time and space with me, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your reading about the next chapter in your life. Now, you chose the Tattoo Tarot in connectivity to the Carnelian crystal, which, in case you didn't know and you just chose this crystal intuitively, let me explain to you what this stone is good for. It's said to increase self-esteem as well as creativity, and helps to combat feelings of inadequacy as well as just feeling self-conscious in general, and it helps to increase physical energy and overcome insomnia. So if this resonates with you and sounds like precisely what you needed, then you know why you felt drawn to this crystal, and you know that there will be some messages here within your reading that are truly meant for you, group number 4. So let's move into it, shall we, and see what Spirit has to say. One thing that I keep sensing is fire and flowers. First up, we've got the 10 of coins. So here within the 10 of coins, I want you to know that what comes is fulfillment when it comes to your career and the earthly realm. So getting that promotion, passing that test, the 10 of coins just shows overall an increase in your satisfaction when it comes to the material world and your professional advances. Okay, now the Ace of Wands, this is where we've got the fire and flowers. We've literally got the Suit of Wands, which is correspondent to the element of fire, and then we've actually got flowers depicted here in this card as well. So fire and flowers in the sense of new ideas, gentle ways in which you can move into the next chapter of your life, professionally speaking. Now, why you need this gentle approach is because here we've got the 10 of coins, which shows us that one chapter of your life is coming to an end. The number 10 is the number of completion within the minor arcana of the suit of coins. And I want you to know here that the Ace of Wands, the first card, the ace, that means one, always stands for a new beginning. And yes, we have a new beginning that you're looking into with a lot of passion and where you've got a lot of great ideas of what you want to do in the next chapter of your life, but you also want to be gentle with yourself. That's where the roses come into play. That's where we can see that the flowers are a part of your approach, because you love to get things done. You love to also be in your divine masculine energy of being unafraid and being a boss. But sometimes you also need a little bit of a break of that, and sometimes you've kind of proven your point and you've proven to yourself and others what you're capable of, and then it's kind of time to come back from all of that fiery masculine energy and to kind of move into more feminine, more of a soft girl kind of vibe. Now here within the Hanged Man, rather than immediately acting, the next chapter of your life shows that you will first just give yourself time to evaluate the entire situation. So here, when you are in a tricky situation with another human being, so something that could turn into a bit of a discussion, argument, or fight, you choose to just take a step back before you say anything and see something from a different perspective, from the other person's perspective, from a very objective standpoint that has nothing to do with you. Again, we've got flowers here, which stand for gentleness, softness. So rather than being as heated or as passionate as you used to be in discussions or arguments, you know that there's no point in channeling your energy into these kind of low energetic situations. So what you're doing is seeing it from all perspectives and then learning to give it the reaction that you feel it deserves, not the reaction that someone is trying to trigger from you. Those are two different things, and you're really cautious when it comes to your energy and making sure that you're saving your best energy, your best vibes for your own work and your own things, which you should be very proud of, group number 4. Not many people are able to master that at such a young age and at this point in their lives the way you are able to do so. And in case you didn't know, the Hanged Man corresponds to the number 12, which in numerology is the number of differentiating between your opinion, your feelings, and how someone else may be feeling and what they may be going through. Now, the Knave of Swords shows us here that you are very much willing to, in a very disciplined, diplomatic way, cut throats, if you will. So being very blunt, but in a way that is still classy. So if you have something to say, you will say it. Like if someone at work is really getting on your nerves, for example, rather than just saying, hey, you're getting on my nerves, you will just say to them, you know, I really have a lot of work to do right now, so I don't really have time for anything that isn't relevant to that work. And in such a manner, you are communicating that you don't have time for games. You literally have other things to focus on than pettiness, and you're doing so in a very classy, very diplomatic way, which will actually catch the other person off guard, and they're most likely not going to try to play the games that they were in the past with you ever again. Now, here within the Shekinah, the next chapter of your life brings this kind of protective cloak of peace. The dove is a symbol of peace, but I'm sure you've already seen it in various different ways, group number 4, and I want you to know here that you are expressing your gifts in the next chapter of your life. And expressing your gifts means being unafraid to express that part of you that was once put down, or kind of that you were told was not good enough. Maybe it was the texture of your hair that people said was not beautiful or not pretty. Maybe it was the shape of your body, the color of your skin, your features. Maybe it was also how other people perceived you to be when it comes to your intelligence. Maybe people wildly underestimated you or told you that you weren't driven, you weren't capable, you weren't deserving. And just overall, seeing it from the perspective of the fact that for someone to even say that, they must be in a very dire, difficult situation themselves, and that it really doesn't have anything to do with you, group number 4. So disassociating from negativity is the next thing you are learning to master in this upcoming chapter in your life. Here within Paul the Venetian, I want you to know that you will share the things that make you unique with grace, whether that be your features and holding your head high every time you enter a new room and keeping a straight spine, standing tall, whether that is, for example, expressing your gifts in working as hard as you can in order to not just accomplish for yourself, but show other people from a similar background as yours that success is possible and that they don't have to listen to naysayers and people who don't believe in them. You are just overall becoming this most graceful version of yourself in this next chapter of your life, group number 4, and this is really something to very much look forward to. Next up, we've got the Temperance card for you. Temperance is symbolic of doing things in moderation and finding your personal equilibrium, so your personal center, your personal kind of grounding point. This means that doing things in moderation means, for example, consuming alcoholic beverages in moderation, working in moderation, speaking to others in a gossipy manner in moderation, if you even want to do that at all. Also, consuming junk food or reality TV in moderation, and finding how much you can really do that in a day or in a week and still feel good about yourself and still feel productive, and never going over that limit. The same goes for example, unhealthy food or alcoholic beverages, understanding precisely what your limitation is and from what point on you're really just harming yourself. And for me, for example, by the way, we've got the priestess next for you, group number 4, but just to come back to the temperance card, for me, I decided a couple years ago that I'm just not going to drink at all. So I had my priestess moment when it comes to alcoholic beverages. It's been many years now, actually, even that I've never been that much into it, but I just completely said it won't be a part of my life at all, not even at festivities, not even when people are offering free champagne or whatever the occasion may be. I had my illumination where I got to this knowledge of myself that it's just not something that I need. Just any amount of it brings me away from my personal equilibrium, from my personal center, from feeling at ease, at peace, and good about myself and having energy the next day. So I definitely want you to understand that when it comes to these things, there are different times in our lives where we will have this moment of enlightenment and illumination in the priestess, where we suddenly understand what moderation means for us. And we will have that at different times for different things. I had that for, as already mentioned, alcohol a few years ago, and maybe I will have the same kind of illumination when it comes to work-life balance in a few months or a few years from now. Just know here that life is endlessly expressive, and we will all go through different times and phases of illumination and noticing different areas of our life in ways in which two lives are never the same, right? You may look at social media and think, oh my God, some people have everything figured out. Their romantic life looks perfect and so does their work life. But maybe they are really deeply unhappy with not having any balance when it comes to exercise, when it comes to being healthy, living healthily, when it comes to mental health. And maybe you have kind of figured that out, or you've kind of figured out what you want to do when it comes to your education, and they haven't. And it's best for you to just never even compare yourself to social media or anything that you see on social media, because I just want you to know here that usually what that does is it just kind of threatens the space that you've built for yourself, the safety that you've maybe worked so hard to create, to be able to relax into and be yourself in. So comparison is really the greatest evil, and I don't say that very frequently. I don't think I even ever say that, group number 4, but that's just to tell you how much I want to encourage you to steer clear of any comparison or any overthinking that involves what you see on social media, because none of it is ever as it seems. So group number 4, I feel compelled to clear and cleanse your space and then be back to guide you into more details about the upcoming cycle in your life, the upcoming chapter. So allow for me to do that, and I will be right back with you. Welcome back, group number 4. So let's add on to your reading, shall we? I hope that you're all still doing amazing, and that just like me, you can't wait to see what else is coming towards the next chapter in your life. So let's get into it. First up, we've got sensuality. So you're not going to be afraid to explore the sensual part of yourself, to explore the part of yourself that you were maybe taught to keep hidden or to keep private, which you will still continue to do, of course, but you're not going to be so afraid to touch base with it. And this could also mean exploring with another person, exploring the things that you like, your body, the areas of your body that are especially sensitive, maybe also your expression, actually looking in the mirror and trying out different facial expressions and how you like them, which ones are sensual, which ones you find to be sweet, which ones you find to be kind of attractive, which ones can signify or signal to another person to back off. Just overall, really being in the divine feminine of exploring sensuality, exploring your expression, your body language, as well as how you can not just feel good in your body, but also look good in your body by accentuating the things that you find super gorgeous about yourself. And a great way for you to give yourself a calm space to melt into is through some self-care, where you're not kind of doing the self-care of, purchasing something to make yourself feel better. I mean, sometimes that is definitely valid and necessary. Group number 4, I'm not even going to pretend like I am so innocent when it comes to that. Sometimes I too need an extra tarot deck or oracle deck or crystal in my life just because, and I will call it self-care. Okay, we are not going to deny that, but sometimes self-care also looks like going out and spending some time in the nature, going on walks, meditating, just writing in your journal without needing any extra fluff, anything that is fancy or sparkly or that you have to spend money on. I want you to know here within trust that when you have this deep trust towards yourself and your ability that you have everything that you need to engage in self-care, you will find that you actually can, with the simplest things, turn your entire life around, turn your entire day into something that you never thought it could be. Because if you turn every single day that you thought was lost, gone, or difficult into something that is actually positive, slowly but surely your entire life will take on this color and this vibe of just being a lot more pleasant than it were to be if you wouldn't have tried to turn everything around as much as possible for the positive. Next up, within intimacy, the next chapter of your life, group number 4, is definitely one that is filled with physical intimacy, also with another person. Here we have 2 individuals within the depiction. In sensuality, it was you exploring yourself, your own sensuality, and maybe even exploring coming out of the closet, because sometimes things that trigger us a lot, like I read this story about a girl who was bi, and before she came out of the closet about that, she was so triggered by other women who were expressive of their sensuality and what they liked, especially in an intimate way. And she understood that she probably only felt that way because there was something within her that felt insecurity, that felt judgment, that felt like it couldn't come out. So definitely know here within intimacy and sensuality that enjoying sacred moments with another person will only be possible once you're also honest with yourself of what you like and what parts of yourself that you maybe need to just treat a little bit more. I see here within Abandon that the next chapter of your life will involve looking at the areas of yourself that you've maybe not spent time with in a long time. You know those memes on Instagram and on social media where people say, like, when they haven't spoken to the universe, to their angels, guides, or God for a long time, and now all of a sudden, like, they need something and they want them to answer immediately. So regardless of what it is that you believe or don't believe in, just know here that there may be parts of you that you've abandoned for a long time. And then when you get back into it, all of a sudden you want it to work as it did when you were spending a lot of time doing it. And that's not how it works. Group number 4, we need to give ourselves and our bodies and our abilities time. Like, for example, when I stepped back from doing a lot of music, I kind of abandoned that part of myself. Of course, I did other things, but that part felt deeply abandoned. And now coming back into it, it's taking some time to get into it, to get used to it, to be as quote unquote good as I was before. But know here within Peaceful that just reminding yourself of the fact that you can give yourself the time to get back to that level and even be better. But it's important that you don't judge yourself. You also be kind of realistic with yourself about ways in which you might have to just start humbly from the beginning again, and to empower yourself to know that it is your choice to do so. It was your choice to maybe not deal with certain parts of yourself, to abandon certain hobbies or certain areas of your life because you were just busy or you had a lot going on, and that's completely fine. But you made that choice in order to spend your energy and your time elsewhere, group number 4, and that is completely okay. You can feel happy, you can feel proud of yourself that you were strong enough to make that decision, that you were strong enough also to maybe even abandon a relationship that wasn't serving you in order to find peace. And you did so from a place of feeling empowered to leave a relationship or a marriage that wasn't serving you. So rather than us looking at people through such a patriarchal and misogynistic kind of lens of, and I mean women especially, of, oh, you're single, don't you think you should start to settle down? Or, oh, you're divorced, I feel bad or pity for you. Instead of seeing it like that, why don't we see it as like, wow, this woman is very empowered to rather be single than to be in a relationship or situation that isn't serving her, where she feels abandoned, even though there should be someone in her life who is adding to a feeling of love and safety. The other thing that I can see here is that in empowered, we've got the number 3, in abandoned, we've got the number 32, and in peaceful, we've got the number 37. So the number 3 has showed up 3 times here. So know that your angel number 333 in the next chapter of your life is going to be extremely meaningful. Here we've got the square aspect, which astrologically speaking shows a challenging situation and a mountain to climb. So this is a very direct, upfront way to say to you that, of course, the next chapter of your life is going to come with some mountains to climb. So know that the angel number 333 is going to be your number in the next chapter of your life that's guiding you, and that's a synchronicity showing you that you're moving in the right direction. So next up, we've got air. Air is the type of element of open-mindedness, objectivity, as well as learning. Air is also the ruler of the signs Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Those signs are known as air signs. I know people always think Aquarius is a water sign because aqua, right? But Aquarius is actually an air sign. And these signs are said to be very creative, very adventurous. So do know here that expressing that type of energy in the next cycle of your life is going to allow you to explore so much when it comes to intimacy, sensuality, and a feeling of being empowered. Next up, we've got the South Node. So the next chapter of your life is also a chapter where you are destined to release. You're destined to let go of. So only having kind of the basics in your life, not having so much unnecessary stuff, so many relationships that you cannot keep up with. I do also want to add a rune into your reading just for added information of what you are destined to release. So let's see what Spirit intuitively brings us. Oh, okay. Here, let me just zoom in for you. So within this rune, we've got Awaz. Awaz is the rune of transportation and partnership. This is also a rune that when it comes to animals, it represents a horse. So the South Node shows that you're destined to release a partnership. You are destined to release maybe a mode of transportation, so getting rid of an unreliable car, vehicle, maybe a bicycle. It could be a horse if that is like a mode of transportation, right? If you ride horses, then in a way it is a mode of transportation, but knowing that maybe you have to move on to something different, maybe the relationship has come to an end, so you're destined to release, but for more peace of mind at the end of the day. It's going to be like every release, one that you will have to get used to, but it is one that ultimately will serve you because you need trust, whether it's the vehicle that you're driving in that's supposed to safely bring you from A to B, whether it is a partnership, both a work one or a sensual one. Without trust, it will be hard to explore sensuality and intimacy. And in the next chapter of your life, that is what you're empowered to do. That is what you will do. So connections in which that is impossible, you just won't be putting as much time into those. So even without noticing, you will release some ties you had just because you're inactive in those connections and in those relationships. So group number 4, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you've enjoyed this. Please do leave a little mountain emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here and that you received your reading and you belong to group 4. Furthermore, I completely forgot to mention, but my angel number 111 promotion on my website, bowlife.com, is still on until August 11th, where any order with a value over $111 receives a completely free tarot and oracle board, which is my divine guidance 10 card spread. Its value with the free crystal pendulum that you will receive is $45. So when you spend over $111, you know that you're getting the most amazing add-on gift to your order. You can let me know in the order notes whether you would like a nude, pink, or a midnight blue board. And of course, if you don't leave a note about the color of the board that you desire and your order still qualifies for this promotion, I will just intuitively add the board and crystal pendulum to your order that I feel resonates with you. So group number 4, thank you so much for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me. And I can't wait to catch up with you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, group number 5, and welcome to your reading about the next chapter in your life. You chose the Love Oracle of Eden, as well as the Tiger's Eye Crystal, which is a beautiful protective stone that not only connects you to the powers of the earth, but also allows your natural instinct to speak more loudly than it usually would. So if you're looking for a crystal that supports you in connecting with your intuition and your natural instinct, Tiger's Eye is it. But group 5, let's get into your reading so we can figure out precisely what's coming towards you in the next chapter of your life. So let's see what we've got here. First up, we've got Explore. So the next chapter of your life is going to be filled with some travel, some exploration, and you going to places that you've never been before. So I want to figure out precisely where that could be. Let's add some letters into this reading. So Spirit, where is group 5 going to explore? Can you please help us out with this? So we've got the letters R as well as L. Maybe we can add one more letter in. We've also got V. Okay, so these are the important letters in the name of the town, country, place that you will be exploring a lot more of, or exploring for the very first time. And I just want you to know here within Explore, as well as these letters, that also look out for seat names on a plane or on a bus, a train. There may be some letters involved there for your flight to and from and your hotel reservation. So take note of what letters continue to occur within your exploration as well as your travels. Next up, within abundance, what comes through you being able to do this is that obviously you are able to afford to take the time off, and you're able to afford this quite literally speaking. So the next chapter of your life is filled with abundance and a sense of being able to lean back, relax, and enjoy group number 5, which I'm so excited about for you because I think it's been a long time coming. And for your next chapter to kind of have this air of relaxation, you've truly earned it and you deserve it. I see here within Adore that what also comes in the next chapter for you is this feeling of adoration of yourself and from others too. So Adore makes it very clear that the next chapter of your life comes with self-care in the sense of working out and feeling very proud of yourself, and also others looking at you no matter what your body looks like at the time and thinking that it is absolutely stunning, and they wish that they had the same kind of confidence and the same kind of luck and prosperity that you've got within their own lives. Next up, we've got the Queen of Swords. I am living for the different body positivity that we've got here within your reading. So the Queen of Swords shows again a completely different body type than we had in Adore. So I hope you can appreciate the inclusivity. And the Queen of Swords shows self-reliance as well as a perceptive attitude. So the next chapter of your life shows that you will be able to travel by yourself, rely on yourself, and also be able to take in new sights and new cultures because of the open-mindedness that you are choosing to go through life with. Also, the Queen of Swords and Adore shows that no matter what phase you're going through when it comes to your body and how it looks, you are still allowing yourself to feel great about it, to feel in harmony and in peace when it comes to it. And the 10 of Cups confirms, as this is one of the most favorable cards when it comes to your mental health and emotional well-being. The 10 of Cups shows abundance as well as fulfillment, which just is like a reiteration of the abundance card that already showed up. And it shows here with these waves that the exploration is happening in a place near the ocean. We also have here in the 10 of Cups abundance and fulfillment, like we already spoke about in the abundance card that shows up from the Love Oracle of Eden deck. And I want you to know here that overall, the next chapter is a chapter where you feel as though you want to be very careful about who you surround yourself by, because things are just going so well for you in this upcoming chapter that you're being super picky and choosy about who you spend time with and how much time that you spend outside of the little bubble and safe space that you've created for yourself. Now, the moon actually rules the sign of Cancer, in case you didn't know. And astrologically speaking, when the moon shows up, this shows that the next chapter of your life, you will be divinely connected to the moon and probably also see symbols of the moon everywhere. The moon shows us that your emotional needs will be satisfied, and nurturing yourself as well as others is the focal point. So nurturing yourself comes first, filling up your own cup, and then others in the sense of close family, children, friends, just people who you know are worthy of the time and energy to fill their cups. I see here within a trine, there will be a lot of aspects that represent trine when we compare your birth chart with the current celestial events. And I want you to know here with trine that this stands for angelic support, harmony, and a perfect flow. So also flowing with the moon, seeing when there will be full moons, new moons, and using those dates to create or to let go of things, to rest or to start new projects. So when there is a full moon, I would say create, put yourself out there. This is a huge culmination of energy. And when there's a new moon, I would say rest, let go, sleep, take time away from too much work, and know here that that will help you to create and continue on with this great flow that you've got going in the next chapter of your life. Here within Uranus, we've got the planet of the unusual and the unexpected. So expect unexpected radical change, if that makes sense, group number 5. So radical change coming towards you means, of course, a radical change of environment. So you will probably be flying somewhere far away in order to explore these new places. You will experience radical change in your living situation and just overall the environment that you will be in, the languages that you're hearing, the food that you're eating, And this radical change is actually so needed and necessary. It's going to bring you so much inspiration, and you will see things in a different culture and ask yourself why your culture doesn't adapt a little bit more of this either body positivity or a feeling of togetherness, a feeling of everyone being of importance, and why parts of your culture maybe does not appreciate family as much, or vice versa. Maybe you are meant to sacrifice for your family and not have your own mental health be intact. So you will take the best of your exploration of the new countries and cultures that you're going to, the new cities that you're seeing, and then you will try to bring that into your own day-to-day dealings and your own culture at home. So group 5, I feel compelled to clear and cleanse the space for you, and then I'll be right back and we can delve into more details about the next chapter in your life. Welcome back, group number 5. Let's delve even more deeply into the next chapter of your life, shall we? So first up, we've got the Ace of Swords and the Eight of Cups. There is a new job that you have chosen, some new direction in your professional life. It could also be a side hustle. I see that you had an amazing idea you felt really great about. The Eight of Cups shows here that your heart chakra was so in resonance with this idea that you had, and you went for it. And I can see here that the next chapter shows success with everything that you choose that comes from a heart space, that comes from a place of not only feeling inspired and like it's a good idea, but also feeling a lot of deep love for this direction that you're moving into. Now, the Four of Cups shows me that what will be is that you will find there are some people who are maybe jealous of the fact that you have been able to decide to do something you love, to decide to do something that is very fun to you, and that you were also brave enough to do so. But the thing is that the more you kind of are on your own unique path, and the more you do the things that you absolutely love and adore, you will get to know people and create a circle around you of others who are very happy with the choices that they've made for themselves. So temporarily, the Four of Cups shows that there may be some loneliness with the switch in success and job opportunities, but the Ten of Wands does show us here that you are very close to just overall leaving people behind who are still feeling competitive towards you, and then entering a space where there are people who see you as a great person to have around, because just overall you inspire them. You're also doing something that you love, and when you're around like-minded individuals, your success will not threaten them. Next up, we've got the Queen of Everything. So this resonates beautifully with what we just spoke about, group number 5. You've got the world in your hand. It's like the world is your oyster, truly. And this feeling of the Queen of Everything, the Queen of your life, the queen of your success, of where you're going next, it just shows this confidence that you've never had before emerging in the next chapter of your life. It shows here that what comes next is a self-certainty, and as you can see, sitting in this big throne, a kind of comfort in this place of leadership and of certainty, and knowing that you do actually deserve the best, and that's exactly what you're going for. Create and Progress shows us that the next chapter of your life will entail a lot of alone time in your craft and in your space. So create and progress could mean actual art. It could mean, for example, creating music and progressing in your art form, progressing in your craft in a way where you feel like the inspiration is flowing through you because you've got time to yourself and you're steering clear of any kind of drama or pettiness, or you know, when you've got that one friend or that one person that just always thrives off of negativity, when there's nothing negative going on or there's no gossip, it's like you can't even have a conversation with them because there's nothing to speak of. I definitely see that you are taking away from that relationship, from that connection, and instead taking that time and feeding into your creativity. I see here within Stormy that the next chapter of your life will have a few storms and natural disasters very close to home. Now, this is not something that you should feel afraid of. This is something that happens historically all the time on planet Earth, but you're just being made aware of the fact that sometimes when there is stormy weather, when there's quite literally some natural disasters going around, you may want to postpone certain trips and certain exploration until later, just in order to stay safe. That's also why we've got these chains here, we've got some tears, we've got a little bit of a dark mood in the stormy card, because of course there will be a certain element of disappointment, but safety comes first, group number 5. Bear that in mind. Next up, we've got On Fire, as well as master number 44. Now, the number 4 is a number of manifestations coming true, as well as creating stability. So know here that you are on fire when it comes to that, when it comes to your manifestations, when it comes to creating the kind of stability that you would like, either a stable relationship, a stable home life. Know here within On Fire, group number 5, that this also shows that anything that you touch in this next chapter of your life will kind of turn to gold or catch fire very quickly, in the sense of it will be very cool, very on fire. If you are creating a podcast, your own business, maybe a YouTube channel as well, it will gain a lot more traction than it ever has in your previous cycles in life. So don't give up now. Continue to stick to the things that you love, that bring you passion, that bring you joy, because sometimes things just take time to gain traction. It was the same for my YouTube channel as well. Group number 5, at the beginning, of course, there was like a little bit of traction, but not really, until all of a sudden things were on fire. I was in my jam, in my element, and everyone can feel when that happens, and know that things will just skyrocket from there. Within Simakil, I want you to know we've got the Angel of Vengeance. So Simakil is very close by to protect you from anybody who has kind of cast a bit of an evil eye on you, you know, people who are maybe a little jealous of your success, of things being on fire. And that's where it is so essential for you to know it is not your job to punish someone. It is not your job for you to teach someone a lesson. Trust me. The universe, as well as the laws of reciprocity, will do that. And what I mean by that is, no matter what you believe in or don't believe in, group number 5, so please don't get triggered by this, whether it is the universe, whether it's God. I mean, we all go through different phases and different times in our lives, and that's not what it's about. This is just about the karmic energy of the type of energy, thoughts, and the type of vibe you put out is what you will receive back. If you've ever noticed people who put out hate or very negative vibes, one way or another, it always comes back to them, whether it be them directly or their kids or a very close family member of theirs. It always hits them in a way back. Okay, so know here that no matter what kind of injustice is done, continue to steer your ship or your intentions towards love, towards acceptance, towards showing the version of yourself that you would be proud of, to not stoop to the level of vengeance, because there are other forces and powers beyond you and I that are going to bring everything back to balance and to regulate injustice that has been done. Next up within Aistabus, we've got your Angel of Divination, which is such a beautiful angel that brings you the message that divination can help you in the next chapter of your life to gain clarity and to make decisions. When you absolutely cannot make up your mind, get a tarot or oracle deck out, pull a card, and allow that to guide you in that moment. Your Angel of Divination also reminds you of the fact that everything happens for a reason. Everything right now, the fact that you're here watching this video, listening in, receiving these messages specifically, It is all meaningful, and your angel of divination is trying to say to you that at any given moment, when you feel a divine intervention, when you feel some sort of synchronicity is being given to you, listen to it. Whether it is the master number 44, whether it is you seeing globe emojis everywhere, or seeing that there are some storms, some stormy weathers, natural disasters, and understanding it is time to postpone a trip, to maybe go a different time. Listen to all of these intuitive messages, because there is a reason why human beings were equipped with intuition, and for thousands of years it has actually been a way in which we could either preserve our lives or actually put ourselves in dangerous situations. Just think about it. During the time where there were just cavemen and cavewomen, they had to listen to their gut feeling, and there may have been a saber-tooth, a tiger, behind that rock if they made the wrong decision, if they didn't listen to their intuition. They may have planted their crops at the wrong time and then not had any harvest or any food if they didn't listen to their intuition about when to plan, if they didn't listen to how the moon affected them and the environment, as well as the natural disasters and weathers that were going on around them. So don't feel like just because we are now living in this age of technology that we are completely exempt from our intuition and the nature still playing an important role in the decisions that we make in our day-to-day lives, and especially when it comes to big decisions such as traveling, such as engaging on a low energetic frequency. You should not take that lightly or even feel the responsibility to do that at all. Now, group number 5 is this is the reading that I've received for you, and I truly hope that you've enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know below in the comment section by leaving a crown emoji below. That way you can let me and others know that you were here, that you received your reading, and that you're a real one who watched it all the way to the end. Furthermore, I completely forgot to mention this during the intro of the video. My promo on bowlife.com is still going on, where any order over $111 receives a completely free divine guidance, a tarot and oracle board that is compatible with any deck that you may own. It doesn't matter if it's any of my decks or a deck that you already own or were gifted. And you can choose between the nude pink or midnight blue board, which I have created, and it comes with a free crystal pendulum as well. And this promotion is only active until the 11th of August. And of course, if you place multiple orders over $111, each order will come with a free divine guidance board, which usually costs $45. So this is really one of the biggest deals, one of the biggest sales I've ever done. So all the links are below in the description box. Everything is written there if you want a little more info. So feel free to check that out, group number 5. Once again, thank you so much for spending this beautiful time and space with me, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings.